Yo, my people, damn. CFC, Realist Blue, back with another video. And it's match review settings, man. It's the match review for the Chelsea versus Fulham game, which we lost 2-1. As you can see, hey, man, goals from Harrison and Muniz cancels out Cole Palmer's first goal. And can't lie to you, man, I'm not even frustrated. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Seeing this game, I can't even lie. I'm not even frustrated. It is jarring, but jarring is different to frustration. Frustration is when I'll be blowing a gasket, talking about, oh yeah, we were so rubbish or anything like that. But it wasn't. Fulham were better than us. But if we're gonna be honest, these kind of games can happen. It's a London derby after all, and Fulham, they have taken points off a lot of London teams. It's just today they've taken the 3 points against us, and this is their first win since the 1960s against us in the Premier in the league, or a win at Stamford Bridge. Their first win ever in the Premier League, and this is the first game where they've actually scored one goal against us at Stamford Bridge, and they ended up scoring two. This is just another sign to show why Chelsea are just in a top four race. This is just another sign to show why we're just in a top four race. We don't have the capabilities in order to challenge for the Premier League title. And the reason for this is just the fact that our team is inexperienced and our manager is his first season, man. Other than Arne Slot, who could potentially win the Premier League in his first season, no other manager has come in their first season, won the Premier League title. And with results like this, it just shows why. We've dropped points against Everton and we dropped points against Fulham. But in this Fulham game, it could have been more than just 1-0. I'm going to be sitting here and be honest. It could have been more than just 1-0. I mean, I said 1-0. They could have scored. They could have easily won the game more than 2-1. Anthony Robertson scored a decent goal for them. I mean, could have scored a good goal for them. Muniz scored. Wilson scored. Palmer scored. But just to go through the match, as we talk about our starting 11 to go into this game, and this was the starting 11. This was the starting 11 for the match. This was our starting 11 going into this game. Robert Sanchez was the goalkeeper. Right back was Malo Gusto. Centre backs was Tosinado Rabayo, Levi Colwell. Left back was Mark Cucurella. CDMs was Moises Caicedo, as well as Enzo Fernandez, who was the captain. Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Sancho, and Jackson were the attackers. And to be honest with you, this looks... I'll read your comments after. But I'm going to be honest, man. This game, I'd be so honest with you, fam. Can't even be upset about it. Fulham were actually the better team. The first half, we was doing our thing. We had good amounts of possession, even though Fulham had more. We just took our chances. Brilliant goal from Cole Palmer. Good ball in from Levi Cole. Sets him up and gets the goal. He drives through, passes it into the box. Passes it into the goal, I should say. And that makes us go 1-0 up. But then after that, we do create chances. Enzo Fernandez with a great cross, puts the ball on the plate for Cucurella. Should have scored that, but he scored a goal the other week against Brentford. He couldn't do the same thing here. And that's a missed chance. One of the good chances that we had during the game and in the first half. So honestly speaking, that game, this game today, we created chances, but we just couldn't capitalize on it. So I really, after the first half, to go 1-0 up, to go into the second half 1-0 up, was quite deserved, because even though we didn't create too many chances, neither did Fulham. But Anthony Robertson was doing his thing. But then in the second half, I felt like a lot changed. Like the energy shifted. If I'm gonna be honest, in the second half, these guys were having more possession, but they were going forward a whole lot more. Having Traore, having Iwobi on the pitch, that Anthony Robertson, he was doing his thing. He was brilliant with the way that they were playing and defending. Like, they had the majority of the ball. They were taking the game to us in the second half. And if it wasn't for a couple of Robert Sanchez save, it could have been worse than the 2-1 scoreline. It could have been worse. But I'll be real, man. We just have to be honest. Games like today can happen. You're going to kill me. People would have said last season that, oh yeah, Jackson wouldn't have been good enough. Like, forget about it. You guys kill me. But it's just one game, and like I've said, I've never sat here and said that we're going to win the Premier League title. I said if my team was top at the end of the year, we would win the Premier League. It's just the fact that we're not going to win the Premier League title. And today shows why. Because on the London derbies, if you look at the history, only out of the 12 times on the London derbies on Boxing Day, we've only won twice. Twice. And in both those seasons, we went on to win the Premier League title. So today is just another sign to show that we are not ready for the Premier League title. Literally. And you're killing me. You're killing me with what you first said. Because man can see that after anyway. But you're killing me how you just blame that. Man said it's Enzo's fault again. No, it's not down to the fact that we created chances and guys didn't finish. It's not down. It's just down to Enzo Maresca, nothing to do with the team, innit? People kill me, man. But that's what I'm gonna say. People like you are gonna kill me because you sit there and say, "Oh, it's Enzo's fault. It's Enzo's fault." Okay, that's your opinion, man. Nonetheless, it's a collective. Enzo Maresca can talk about not bringing enough subs on. He can say that we didn't bring on enough subs, we didn't make subs quicker, fair enough. But did we not create chances that we could have won the game? Come on, man. But you brought one sub on. Okay. Look at through the years. You have Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp not always using up their subs. Did people were complaining about that when they were bringing league titles? No. So forget about it. I'm not gonna sit here and say about he didn't use all of his subs. Okay. Like that's not the end of the world for me. Because at the end of the day, people just need to remember this time last year we were sitting here 10th. People don't remember. We're in the Premier League, 35 points. This time last year we had 22 points. People need to remember where we are coming from. We brought one sub on. Okay. Like, what does that even mean? We could have made more subs. Yeah, we could have. But at the end of the day, Fulham, regardless, had more energy. It doesn't matter how many players we might have brought on, they had more energy. Okay. Were people complaining when we brought in Kunku one for Bournemouth and he scored the goal that helped us win the game? No one's complaining then. So like I said, you guys want to sit there and complain. That's just you can have that as Chelsea fans. I'm not gonna sit here and complain because at the end of the day, wow, we've lost 2-1 to Fulham. Okay, like they're a good team. Southampton drew with them, we beat them. Everton drew with Manchester City. Like these are results can happen. Like I'm not gonna be too fussed about any of this. If I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, the game today, like it could have gone either way. And people will sit there and say about, oh yeah, Robert Sanchez and that. Robert Sanchez made a lot of saves today. We could have lost easily more than 2-1. But again, that's not down to just the manager. Everyone plays a part. We could have all done better. In the second half, we didn't do enough attacking wise. And that's before we made any subs, regardless. But Fulham were just on the front foot. They deserve the win because they were doing their thing, controlling the game, going forward. That's literally what they were doing. We didn't have a lot of possession during the whole entire match. If I go on to look at the stats, we in today's game we had 47% possession. Them lot there had 14 shots, 7 on target. We had 12, 8 on target. We might have been more on point with the shots that we were taking, but at the end of the day, we we should have scored more than one goal. And it's not just down and Cole Palmer done his thing. But at the end of the day, Fulham created enough clear-cut chances and they were the better team. That's why I can't even be upset. These games going to be happening. And if we bear in mind the fact that we haven't lost ever since the Liverpool match in like October or near for the end of December. December is normally a dead period for us, a crap period, and we lose a lot of games. Whereas this season, we've only lost once during the whole of December. We've only lost once in like our last 12 or 13 matches. Like people say, oh, blame the manager. People need to be grateful for what they have because I can literally just show you how the Premier table would have looked, but it doesn't even necessarily matter. In terms of like subs, the only thing I would have said differently would be the fact that man like Noni Madweki, he was left out, and what's my guy's name? Enzo Maresca stated the fact that it was just a technical decision. That doesn't necessarily make too much sense to me. I had Noni Madueke starting in my predicted XI, if I'm gonna be honest, and him not being in the squad. Yeah, man, it's quite frustrating. I can't lie to you, but these things can happen, man. The last couple of games we haven't had good enough bench. The bench has been calm, but we've had other ones. There was no Renato Vega in this lineup. I don't know why he was in the lineup. Like we have a lot of players, but today, yeah, man, we were trying to hold out. And to be fair, until the last 10 minutes, these guys didn't score a goal. And we nearly could have held out for a 1-0 win. But with the way that we just keep on allowing these guys to keep on attacking us, the guys today just looked tired. Our team looked tired compared to Fulham. Fulham looks a lot fresher. And people can sit there and say that, oh yeah, they've made subs and all of that. But it's like a lot of these players barely play every single week. Like they'll play more time one game a week. Palmer doesn't play in the Conference League. Sancho more time doesn't. Now there's Jackson, Caicedo, Enzo, Cucurella came back for this game. It's like these are the things that can just happen. Like man can literally just sit there and say that Fulham were literally the better team and they deserve the win. And today just outlines why we are not title challengers. Simple as Cole Palmer today, he was doing his thing. He got his 51st goal and assist for Chelsea in the Premier League today in his 51st appearance. That's what a cold man does. But it happens in a 2-1 L. But like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world because I can show you this time last year, this is where we were. If people want to sit there and be upset, this is where we were last season. Would you, after the loss that we had today, would you rather still be in the top three or would you rather be 10th? Is that where you'd rather be with with a +1 goal difference and 22 points? Is that what you would want? Is that what you'd want to be here? Instead of being a whole 13 points better off than we were this time last year. Okay. No one would sit there and say anything about that. But like I've been saying, Chelsea right now, this is now the 11th time this season we have been in the top four. I can critique Enzo Maresca, but he's a young manager. This is his first season in the Premier League. He can do a lot of things better. He can improve, and I expect him to. But for me to be upset with him after today's game, I can't be. Like, I can't be. Maresca has become complacent. It started a few games ago. No early changes, no changes at all. He made one change. But at the end of the day, like, look at the bench that we had. If you see the bench, and Nkunku, Joao Felix, we're not going to be bringing on Mark Gu. We're not going to be bringing on Tyreek George. We didn't necessarily need Josh Akumpong. He might have come on or something like that. But realistically, our bench didn't look strong enough. And from when in the last game, Maresca didn't make that many subs, and now we even have a thinner bench. He won't make that many subs either. People sit there and say that we should bring on Joao Felix, and so, like, we're not going to be taking off Cole Palmer. And I said this in the preview. I would rather have Cole Palmer on the pitch to learn to deal with these situations because he hasn't been dealt with the situations of being man marked all the time. He hasn't been dealt with that. This time last year, he wasn't getting man marked. He was free to do so much. Free to do so much. But even then, in 18 Premier League games, he's got 18 goal contributions. Joao Felix, for as good as he is, he's going to be doing what Cole Palmer does. He is not as good as Cole Palmer. And man like Joao Felix will be left on the bench while Nkunku comes on. Personally speaking, we deserve that. And Kunku's done more and been more important for Chelsea during this whole entire season, and just deserves more minutes than deserves more minutes than deserves more minutes than Joao Felix. So that's just my thoughts and opinions because, like I said, people need to remember this time last year, you were sitting here 10th with a +1 goal difference. This is where we are in the Premier League table right now. Well, not exactly here, but in terms of the Premier League, we are. Let me get this up. In terms of the Premier League, this is where we are. Last season, at this point, we had 22 points Now we have 35. I'm not happy that we've lost, but I am not angry. I'm not angry at all. This game, like we was time for us to show Fulham who runs West London, but game like today can happen, man. And like I said, Fulham deserve the win. But all I'm focusing on is just the clear fact that after 18 games, we have 35 points. Whereas last season, like I said, last season, at this point in the Premier League table, this is how many points that we had. This is literally the amount of points that we had. We had 35 points this season, and last season we had 22. I cannot begrudging Enzo Maresca. I can't. Even if people don't like his decisions, no one's perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything's perfect. Would I have preferred to have subs a little bit earlier? Definitely. I would like to have had subs earlier. But if I'm thinking of the last game, I know Maresca does things and he does things consistently. And what he has done is not make a lot of changes. At times when he has made a lot of changes is when we've had a good enough bench or a strong enough bench. And Kunku will get brought in at times, but realistically, attackingly, weren't necessarily doing too much after the second half. And we just had to try a sharp shot, but we couldn't. We conceded the two late minute goals. And let's go to show the immaturity. I'm not saying immaturity, but we are a young team. We still got a long way to go. And people would sit there and say that, oh yeah, Chelsea, title challengers, da 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 da. Like we wasn't. We wasn't. Even though, like I said, if we got to the end of the year, I would sit there and say that my team would win the Premier League if it was top at the end of the year. But guess what? We won't be. And that goes to show that we are just in a top four race. And like the aim was to go into the season was to get top four. That was the aim. That's literally what we was aiming for. And right now, we are head and shoulders above that. This is what we are getting. Last season, after 18 games, we had 22 points. Now we have 35 points. This is exactly positive. And people after today's loss, you'll think negatively. Try not to think negatively because at the end of the day, things could be a whole lot worse. We could be outside of the top four. We could be Manchester City or these kind of things, but we're not. We are still in the top four and going to be there for another game week. That's now 11 game weeks out of 18, more than half of the season. So, personally, for me, I am not angry. I can be jarred, but jarred is different. Jarring is just something I can get over quite quickly. But if I was angry, it would be jarring me and annoying me for a long period of time. But this doesn't even annoy me, man. Because like I said, Fulham deserved the win. Fulham deserved the win today. They definitely did. So that's just why for me, I'm not gonna be upset or anything like that in regards to how things have gone today. I'm not gonna be upset about that. But let me go on the ball. Um Will Chelsea finish in the top four? Vote on the pod. Think we'll finish in the top four, man. But like I said, this is match day 17. And even going into this game, I can show you, sit here and show you that what Maresca stated during his press conference as to why we are not in a tower race. We've said it many times that we are not in a title race. My G. But yeah, remember, this is what Maresca had to say in terms of Premier League expectations going into this match. This is literally what he had to say. So we said many times that we are ahead of our expectations in terms of the way we are playing and the points. Remember that before people start being like, "Oh, Enzo Maresca, it's his fault." Da 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 da. We created chances. Should have scored more than once. That's not on him. What you can say is on him. is the substitutions. But at the end of the day, we were 10 minutes away from getting 3 points, and we're minutes away from getting a draw. So I'm not gonna be upset about that because Fulham are a good team. And if you didn't see the game, you'll be lying to yourself thinking that they didn't deserve anything out of this game based on the way that they played. They had many chances and could have scored way before that. That Anthony Robertson, like Sanchez made some great save to stop that. That was a good chance. Even in the first half, made some good saves. So for me, this is just what can happen in the Premier League when you don't take your chances. And that's literally what we done. We could have been 2-0 up. Man like Levi Colwill, he was offside. We would have had the 2 goal back by then, but he was offside. So that didn't count. Jarring. But other than that, the Cucurella chance and Jackson had tried to make a good chance, but like I said, we just weren't clinical enough. And in the last couple of games, the attack hasn't been doing that great. I feel like Pedro Neto, I would have got him off a while before. He was looking tired, but that's just overall. I think the team was tired, especially in the second half, because Fulham were just taking the game to us. We weren't really taking it to them. If we were trying to do on the counter attack, but they weren't doing enough. We couldn't transition well enough to get the better of them. And that's just how it ends up. But again, Maresca said in his press conference that we've said many times that we are ahead of our expectations in terms of the way we are playing and the points. So we are not necessarily title challengers. We are not. And people will sit there and say that, oh, you can't say that. Yes, we can. Because we were literally 10th this time last year. And look, for us, the main focus is to see how we can improve the players and game by game improve the team. We are not going to win every single game in this league. And for us to lose to Fulham, fair enough, it's the first time that they've done this since ever in the Premier League. They've never been us in the Premier League before this, and it's the first time. But all things come to an end at some point. Even look at Brentford. He even said it. He even said it in his press conference that after the Brentford game, oh, we didn't have a great record against them, but we beat them. But we beat them. Now we had a great record against Crystal Palace. We had a great record against Crystal Palace. We drew. We had a great run against Fulham, and now we've lost. These things can happen, but at the end of the day, it's about the context of the situation. And the context remains is that we are still comfortably ahead of our expectations. We're still comfortably in the top 4. And that's all that matters. I know full well, regardless, people can sit here and say to me that I've said that Conference League and getting top 4, I am happy with that. If we get anything more, then that's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But after today's loss, it gets like that. The first loss that we've had ever since October? Come on, man. How can people really be so annoyed? Really be so annoyed? Remember, there's context into everything, and people should not be looking at it because if I reiterate yet again, where would you rather be in the Premier League? Would you rather have 35 points in a Premier League season? Would you rather have 35 points in a Premier League season? Would you rather have 35 points in a Premier League season after 18 games? Or would you rather have this? Would you rather have after 18 games 22 points? Because that's literally where we was this time last year, where there was no happiness or whatsoever. But now after all we've lost one game in December, I'm gonna be so negative. No, because that's not the case. I'm very proud of the team and everything that we've done so far because I've seen us keep on growing and growing. And for us to be here 12 months ago, and now to be third or second right now, as it stands, we are second because Arsenal haven't played. If they win their game, we can go back down to third for the first time in how long? But I'm not going to be upset about it because I remember these periods going through every single game. And it doesn't matter if we have a lot of subs or if we make subs or not. It doesn't necessarily matter because overall we just weren't that great. And now this season we are much better. I'm not gonna sit here and say that we're great, but we are much better than last season because We are literally 15, we're literally 13 points better off at this point as we were last season. So how can man be upset about it? Can't be. Can't be. We are literally 7 points ahead of Manchester City, a couple points behind Liverpool, who play at 8 o'clock. Arsenal can go 1 point above us. Wow. Look at how many points they're above us last season after 18 games. There was literally an 18-point gap between us and Arsenal at this point last year. How am I going to be sitting here and being upset? That's just ungrateful. And a lot of fans shouldn't be getting too mad about this game, personally speaking, because it could have been a lot worse. We could have played so well and still lost. But realistically, Fulham put in a great performance and they deserve the win. I'm going to be upset about that because these are the things that can happen in the Premier League. We have lost three games. Liverpool, Man City, and Fulham. Three teams that you can't really put, three teams you can't say anything really too much about. Realistically, and Fulham, it's a London derby. Anything can happen in a London derby. People just need to remember that. But like I said, we were literally 10th this time last year with 22 points. 18 points behind the league leaders, 17 points behind second place, 17 points behind third place, literally 14 points behind fourth place. There was no chance for us getting any top four. No chance. But now this season, like man's already showed you, this is where we are. So I am not upset. I'm not upset because 35 points after getting in 18 games is not the end of the world. We are still comfortable in getting top four. Nottingham Forest did win again, so they now have 34 points. They're a point behind us. So, but luckily we have Ipswich next. Then Arsenal, if they win their game against Ipswich, they can go they can go ahead of us by 1 point. That's minor for a team who going into the season were tower challengers. We are not, but we've been above them a lot of this season. So I be real, can't be upset about it. Can't be. And then let me go back to some quotes that Enzo Maresca stated because just another highlight. Man said, it's not about the pressure for the players, club, or me. For me, it's the reality. I would like to have that kind of pressure, and hopefully soon we can have that kind of pressure. That's what he said. In terms of Premier League expectations, we would like to have that pressure, but we don't deserve it. And after games like today, it shows why. It shows why. So I'm not gonna be upset about it. We very rarely win on Boxing Day. So it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna be upset about today's game. Um, and look at this on Chelsea's good form versus Fulham. It's football. The Brentford game was the other side, and we won then. I don't pay attention to the past. The result you cannot control, but you can control the way you want to play. And we were doing our thing. We played the game to a good amount, created enough chances to get the win. We just didn't take our chances. Fulham created a lot of chances, and they took them. Literally, what it is, they had a little bit more possession than us, but it's a quite even game. They just edged us, and they were the better team. So can't really fuss too much. You were sitting there saying that Jackson is not good enough to win Chelsea a title. Okay, because for a man who has 9 goals in like 17 Premier League appearances, because he hasn't played every single game, he has 9 goals in like 17 appearances. He's not good enough to win the Premier League title for Chelsea. Why don't people understand that we are not title challengers? We are not title challengers. If man like Nicholas Jackson can get 18 or more Premier League goals this season, who's to say he can't get the same amount next season? Who's to say that? Because personally speaking, I'm going to sit here and say that I think Nicholas Jackson can help us win a Premier League title. I believe that. I genuinely believe that. He's adding a lot more finishing to his game this season. But as long as we just keep on improving, keep playing a lot more games, then the fluidity and everything will be a lot more better. But I believe in Jackson because he's been proven a lot of his haters wrong. Bearing in mind, remember, he has what? He has like 25 or 24 Premier League goals in his first 50 appearances. That's very good. for a player who was unknown and a player that cost 30 million. People need to remember, like, I would have made it seem like Jackson is like 60, 70, 80, 90 million. He's literally 30 million. What we're getting out of him from a 30 million player is ridiculous. We love it. I know I love it. Jackson is literally doing his thing. And fair enough, today he hasn't scored, but he scored in good amount of games. So big him up, man. Big him up. Gusto looks bang average. You're gonna kill me because end of the day, he is not having a great season, but he's doing a very different role. Literally playing a different role. Last season, all he was tasked with doing just getting up and down the right hand side. That's literally it. Up and down the right hand side. Now he has to think about going up and down the right hand side, getting into the middle, over to the left. Like there's a lot more things that's going into the game that will make him um not the same. But he's literally learning different things. Once he perfects these situations, it will be way better. It's like people sitting there saying, Cole Palmer gets man marked, let's take him off. These guys need to go through these situations in order to get better. How are you going to take them off and think to yourself that, oh, yeah, man can make him get better, but just because he doesn't play in the situations enough, they need to be put in these situations. And Enzo Maresca knows that. He knows he needs to put these guys in the positions and in these situations because the more you get put in these situations and these positions, the more you'll be able to figure out, oh, yep, this is what I need to do to get out of it. And the more that happens is the quicker you can react. The quicker you can react, the quicker you can do things. And that's literally what can happen and why he is doing his thing. Gusto is not having the greatest of seasons. No. But at the end of the day, he's doing a lot more things in this team than he was doing last season. All, like I said, all he was doing last season, up and down the right hand side. That's it. That's all he had to do. Whereas now, he has to invert into the middle, sometimes go over to the left, into the half space, into the right hand side, into the half space. Today, he has to learn to change. At times, Kukurea is tucking in to move up forward while he goes into the right centre back role or he moves up higher. Like, we're not playing basic football. We're trying to play a different style of football. And Maresca trying to get all of his teachings over to these players. And it's going to take a while. The same way people sit there and say that Pep Guardiola, whenever he gets a player, more often than not, they don't always kick on and do the thing that they need to do. They need at least a season to understand everything and then go again next season. And then you'll see the best. That's literally what can happen now. We have so many young players that have gone through so many different managers at this point. We are now under another manager who's doing a lot more things and that's benefiting the team in a very good way. He is trying to get over his ideas. And man can full-heartedly agree with him and believe in him because he's done everything up to this point excellently. Fair enough, you can talk about substitutions, they could be better. Substitutions. Oh, damn. Bruno Fernandes got a red card for Man United. Long day. Hey, man. Saeed's probably happy with that one there still. Can't lie to you. But can't cap. But yeah, nonetheless, though. Yeah, man. As Maresca, I full-heartedly believe in him because after this season, you'll be seeing the better version of Chelsea. In the first year, you don't always get the best. In the second year, you get the best. So that's just what man's hoping for, that can just come out. And like you already said, the result you cannot control, but you can control the way you want to play. We was playing the way we wanted to play. We literally just couldn't get the goal that needed. Because when you were winning 1-0, you can always, when you get in that 1-0, you can always be susceptible to conceding against any team in the Premier League. And why is that? Because this is the Premier League, the most exciting league. Just because one team beats another team does not mean that you're going to beat that team just because you beat the other team. And especially when we're just a top 4 team. We are not competing for the Premier League title. We are not going to win the Premier League title. The Premier League title is Liverpool's to lose. And yeah, man, can't even lie. I'm just happy with how everything has been going. I'm just happy with how everything's been going. So big up Enzo Maresca for what he has been doing this season. And that's just some quotes on his form going into the Fulham game. In terms of people that were left out of the squad today in the starting 11, like, guys, we have to bear in mind, we had no Wesley Fofana, No Benoit Badiashile, no Reece James, they were injured. Noni Madweki, he was left out due to a technical reason. That's what Enzo Maresca said. Um, Also, there was no Renato Vega. I don't have any word on why he wasn't in the squad. There was no Drewsby Hall. So, yeah, man, a lot of guys that are missing. But at the end of the day, it's just how it gets. Once we get more guys getting back, Romeo Lavia wasn't in the squad as well. He's a big miss. Lavia not being in the squad is the biggest miss for me. Him being available just makes everything a lot more easier because I feel like if we had Caicedo start as the right back instead of Gusto, that'd be much better. That's why Enzo Maresca at times has opted for that. If Lavia is available, you've seen Lavia and Enzo start in the same midfield together while Caicedo goes into the right back role and then he inverts. So for me, I fully believe that if Lavia was here, we'd be a much better. And he just brings that solidity to the team. I can get the best out of our attack because Enzo will be more higher up instead of him having to run up and down because guys are getting tired out here. Guys are getting tired. We've been playing a lot of games recently, and yeah, man, it's just how it gets because this is a young team. So my thought, like I said, my thoughts on the guys that were missing, like Vega, he would have been needed today. That would have been great if he was available. And Noni Madueke, definitely, I had him in my predicted XI. I'd love for him to have been in the lineup. If he's going to get brought on, I'm not going to be upset about that. If I'm going to be honest with you, Cole Powell needs to deal with these situations. He needs to be in these games doing what needs to be done. On top of that, I don't think Esma Resco rates Joao Felix that much, if I'm going to be honest with you. Hence why he hardly gets brought on. He rates Nkunku, hence why he'll get brought on more often than not. So that was the one sub we made. We could have used more subs. Fair enough. We might have been able to use more subs, but that just hampers the way that we're trying to play. And if we lose 2-1 already, we just say that if we made more subs that we couldn't concede more. I'd rather lose 2-1 rather than lose 3-1 or 4-1. Because with the way Fulham were playing, they created a lot of chances. They had more shots on target than us. So things could have been very different. Things could have been very different for me. Robert Sanchez done well. He made a couple good saves. He did have that slight panic moment once Gusto played it back to me, played it back. Raul Jimenez literally just missed out on the ball. So can't even lie to you. Those are some missy moments, but we're just inviting pressure onto ourselves. This is just the stuff that happens. Conceding 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, that happened against us, against Arsenal. And it's the first time we've lost after leading for a long time at 1-0 since like the 1990s. So I'll be real, man. The performance, it was calm. It wasn't a rubbish performance. We just didn't capitalize on the chances that we had, and we did create chances. Fulham, they capitalized on their chances. They scored their 2 goals. They could have scored 3 or even 4. Sanchez made some good saves to deny Robertson and to deny Bassi, or the play that went through in the first half. So, let's speak in the first half, we were still in it. Looked the more threatening team, but in the second half, everything changed. The more the game went on, Fulham just were on the front foot. They deserved to get the points. So it just is what it is. We have to take our chances. Have to take our chances. Cole should have been on side. Cucurella should have scored. And their defense done quite well as well. Because guy like, I don't remember his name. I think it was Basti again. He made a last ditch tackle to deny Cole Palmer. So yeah, man, the players didn't have enough energy to get the W today. But now, in 4 days' time, on Monday, we take on Ipswich, and that's a must-win game because now we've dropped points in 2 games, drawn 1, lost 1. We need to get back on that winning streak. We have to. And at Ipswich away, it's not an easy game, but we have to win that match because if we don't, we can fall even further in terms of being dragged into like our 5th place and all these kind of things. So we have to win that game. So yeah, but yeah, that was our starting 11. These were the subs. Sancho done well. Palmer done well. Obviously, big up for your goal. Neto, you were done well, but you looked very tired. Enzo Caicedo, you was doing very well. Cucurella, big you up for your performance. You was doing your thing. Then you have man like Levi Colwill. Colwill should have scored. I mean, he did score, but he was just offside. Could have been things could have been different, but yeah, you was offside. You got the assist for Cole Palmer, but he done most of the work. But big up for getting the assist. Tosin Adarabioyo, decent game. Um, yeah, man. Just defensively, they were getting us way too much during like the last 15 minutes. They were kept on getting on attacks. Harry Wilson came on, changed the game for them, and then they bring on Muniz. That they literally scored two super subs and scored two goals. So that just goes to show what can happen if you make subs, but it's about having the intent. So they had the intent. Fulham, they deserved the win. Marco Silva, he is a brilliant coach. He has been doing his thing with Fulham. They haven't lost literally in the last 6 games in the Premier League. They've won twice, drawn four. So I don't feel any hard feelings. Like these guys deserve the win. We should have done better with our chances. We should have done better with our chances. But these are just like how games go. If you don't take your chances, you can always lose. It doesn't matter whether you're playing first place or bottom. Every team in the Premier League is competitive, and every team can score against any team. And that's just what happened today. Fulham deserved the win. So yeah, big them up for their win because I was going into this thinking that we was going to win, and that why we run West London, but we can still show them who runs West London because at the end of the day, we still got to play them at some point again during the season. So yeah, but that's obviously our starting 11. That was the subs. Um, let me see if if any more stuff has come out in terms of anything else. But Cole Palmer today, Cole Palmer today, he got his 51st goal and assist in the Premier League for Chelsea in 51 games. Big him up for his performance. Big him up for his performance. And I can't lie to you, since man's here, man should just do these man should just do the player rating since man is here, for be honest with you. So let me just do the player rating since man is here still. And Robert Sanchez in goal. I can't lie to you. I'm going to give you a 6.5 because you done very well today. You made at least 4 saves, if I'm not mistaken. You was literally doing your thing. And let me just go check the stats just to be 100% certain how many saves that you did make. Because yeah, he made 5 saves in the game. 4 saves from inside the box, 1 high claim. Like he was doing his thing, and he has been doing well. And like I said, I'll give him a 7 because he stopped a lot of good chances. Robertson could have scored, as well as can't remember the other guy's name who scored, but no way, who should have scored. He went past Gusto and Tosin, so yeah, man, they could have scored that one there. And then you got so he, yeah, I'm gonna give him a 6. I'm gonna give him a 7 still, man, like Robert Sanchez. And then we had right back Malo Gusto. Defensively, you weren't that great today. I'll be real to you. Going forward, you weren't even that great either. I feel like it was an average performance from you, Malo Gusto. So for me, I'm literally going to give you a. I'm gonna give you a 6. I'll be real because defensively you should have done better, but going forward it was calm. So I'm gonna give you a 6. And then you have Tosin Adarabioyo today. Not the best performance. It was like a 6 for you today. Can't even lie to you. I'll give you a 6. And then you had Levi Colwill. Good performance. Defensively, you done well, and you got an assist. So I'm gonna give you a 7. And then Mark Cucurella, I'm gonna give you a 6.5. It's a decent performance. Decent performance. And then we have man like Enzo Fernandez. Man like Enzo, I am going to give you a I'm gonna give you also a 7 because in the midfield you was running up and down, you're making a lot of tackles, doing your thing. So I give you a 7. Moises Caicedo, I give you a 6.5 because I don't feel like he was as up and down as Enzo was. He was up and down a lot today. So I'm gonna give him 6.5. And then you had Pedro Neto. Attacking wise, you weren't great today, Pedro Neto. I'll be real to you. So my rating for you, I'm just gonna give you I give you a 5.5 because you didn't really do too much for me in the whole entire game. So I'm gonna give you a 5.5. And then you had Jaden Sancho, quiet a lot of the time. Not a lot of things are coming off. So I'm gonna give you a 6. And then Cole Palmer, man, like Cole Palmer, I am going to give you a I'm gonna give you a 7 for your performance. It was a quality performance, but you could have done more, to be honest with you. So you tried to pass the ball way too much into the goal. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a 7. And then you have man like Nicholas Jackson. I'm gonna give you a 6.5. So yeah, man, that's just the player ratings. And I want you lot to let me know your thoughts and opinions down and below. See a team like Manchester United right now, they are losing 1-0 to Wolves. So hopefully they continue to do this. Then man, they will be 14th. So it is what it is, man. But nonetheless, Chelsea today didn't get the job done. We deserve to lose 2-1 to Fulham. As you can see, full time home. So yeah. Man. Fulham, they came to the best stadium in West London and got the win for the first time in Premier League era. They have beaten Chelsea 2-1. Goals from Harry Wilson and Muniz cancels out Cole Palmer's goal for Chelsea. They're not there, deserve the win. And we need to improve. But like I've already stated, the main aim, the main thing, again, is about finishing in the top 4. And we have a great chance to finish in the top 4. I'm sitting here saying that we will get top 4. Because time last year, like I've shown already, we was literally 10th with 22 points. And now this season, this is where we are. Now this season, we literally have 35 points after 18 games. Haven't updated it yet. That's the match day 17, but we lost. So we have 35 points. We are 13 points better off. And we are in 7 places higher than what we was as well. Wait. Well, yeah, we can be 7 places or 8 places higher, just depending on what happens in the Arsenal result tomorrow. So hopefully Arsenal can drop points because we're not focusing on Liverpool. Them and their titles to lose. We are in the top 4 race. So yeah, man, that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. Of you guys' thoughts and opinions. And remember, like I've already stated, people want to sit there and blame Enzo Maresca. People want to sit there and blame Enzo Maresca. This is his first season in the Premier League. First season in the top tier competition. First season. And he's taken his team from 10th, he was 10th at this point last year, to second in the Premier League after 18 games. We are ahead of our points tally and we are ahead in terms of the way that we want to play. Don't try to sit there and try to talk about, oh yeah, we should have done this or done that. This is now the 12th time we played a London derby on this day, and we've only won twice. And in all of those competitions all of those times that we've won, we've gone to win the Premier League title. We are not winning the Premier League. I was saying it before that if we are top at the end of this year, I would say we'll win the Premier League, but we ain't. We are competing for the top 4, and we are still ahead. So we got Ipswich next. There will be a watch along for that. There will be a review as well as a match preview. So you guys make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I am CFC Redis Blue. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook for more Chelsea content. I'll catch you guys in a bit, and I'm out. Peace. Come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Big up Cole Palmer for his goal today. And love for the votes on the poll as well. Love for the votes on the poll as well. How many votes do we have on the poll? Had 2 votes. One person said yes, we'll get top 4. One person said no. Okay. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. But in a bit, my people, damn. Love.